Okay, I just got off Erica Kirk's live. Anyone else think it's bizarre?
Why is she smiling? Oh, she doesn't look upset to me. Is this what we're doing now? Dictating how people can respond to grief?
So Erica Kirk just gave a speech about her late husband, Charlie Kirk. But let's be clear, this is not a grieving widow. This is the most dangerous kind of woman, the male-centered woman.
Hi guys, my name is Esther Daniel and you're welcome back to the channel. So Erica Kirk, the wife of Charlie Kirk, has finally spoken out since his passing and her words are already going viral. I don't know if you have seen the full press statement, but I'm going to share a short clip so we can all see why it's sparkling so much online. From what I have been watching on TikTok, a lot of people feel her message didn't land the right way and the reaction have been pouring in. So stick around because I have put together some of those responses for you. Before we get into it, please subscribe to the channel, like and share the video to help the channel out, and don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments.
They should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world. You have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die. All of us will refuse to let that happen. No one will ever forget my husband's name, and I will make sure of it. When I got home last night, Gigi, our daughter, just ran into my arms. And I talked to her and she said, "Mommy, I missed you." I said, "I miss you too, baby." She goes, "Where's Daddy?" What do you tell a 3-year-old? She's 3. I said, "Baby, Daddy loves you so much. Don't you worry. He's on a work trip with Jesus, so he can afford your blueberry budget." And my goodness, am I so humbled to witness, Charlie, you alongside Jesus right now, doing what you always want to do, baby. Making heaven crowded, right? That's what it's all about. Making heaven crowded. I can't wait to see you again one day.
So Erica Kirk just gave a speech about her late husband, Charlie Kirk. But let's be clear, this is not a grieving widow. This is the most dangerous kind of woman, the male-centered woman. She stood up there and she called Charlie the perfect husband, the perfect father, and she promised that his voice, his movement, his mission will live on through her. But what was his mission? Right, inciting hate against minorities, against immigrants, against black people, against queer people, against women, us. She is not just mourning, she is sanctifying a man who spent his entire career demonizing the very communities that he put at risk. She is taking his politics of cruelty and she is trying to baptize them in widow's grief so that they appear holy, untouchable, and righteous. And that is the male-centered trap. Women who build their entire identities around a man, no matter how harmful he is, and then become the mouthpiece for his legacy. It's the patriarchy's favorite tool because if she says it, suddenly it looks more soft, more emotional, more justified. But don't get it twisted, because Erica Kirk's battle cry of a widow is not about love or healing. It's about rallying people to continue her husband's hate. And that's why we have to call it what it is, dangerous.
This one is probably going to be a little bit divisive, but I've seen the video of Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's wife, and her quite bizarre kind of setup for a statement about the loss of her husband. Now, as somebody who's kind of recently lost a very close family member under quite kind of tragic and traumatic circumstances, I can understand how grief is very different for everyone. But what I can't get my head around is that this woman lost her husband a matter of days ago, has 2 young children with him, yet is able to deliver a kind of faultless statement, pre-written statement, obviously, with a smile on her face for a lot of it. It looks like crying, but there are no tears. And the weird thing is that it's in a really staged setup with a photo of Donald Trump as the Times Magazine Man of the Year or whatever it was, and 2 MAGA hats. And also, why is she completely in white? Like, again, I know it's grief and people grieve differently. It's so weird to have this, what looks like, it looks like a marketing piece, is the long and short of it. Like, it feels very cold and very sterile and just very, very bizarre for somebody who lost her husband so tragically. Why is one of the first things that she's doing going out and making this statement thanking the likes of JD Vance and Donald Trump? There's so much already that rings weird about this whole situation, and it doesn't add up. And this really adds to it. Am I the only person that's seeing that and is being a bit like, this is odd?
Okay, this is a time that I actually don't want to be right. I actually want you guys to say you're crazy. Okay, there was something about Charlie Kirk's wife's speech that I'm not alone in this, that like, there was something creepy about that speech. There was something weird. Okay, specifically the line where she says, you know, she's telling her daughter what happened to Daddy, and she's like, Daddy's on a work trip with Jesus to afford your blueberries. And even in the moment, I was like, to afford your blueberries, that is such a weird thing to say. She could have invoked that same emotion just by saying, Daddy's on a work trip with Jesus. That would make you go like, oh, sad. But to afford your blueberries, like, what? So I'm not some sort of like historical genius or something like that. I just was Googling, and I was just like, blueberry symbolism, blueberry far right, blueberry Nazi. And unfortunately, I came up with something so horrible. Hang on. Okay, look at this here for a second, and then I'll kind of explain what's going on. Okay, so basically the story is that this group of photographs showed up at the Holocaust Museum, like, not very long ago, in pretty recent history, and like, it was this strange assortment of photographs. One of them, like the one I just showed you, that was labeled, Here There Are Blueberries. And so there was a Pulitzer Prize winning play just here, like I think in 2024, that was talking about this strange group of photographs that was trying to show Nazi, you know, the Nazis, the SS soldiers, the like doctors and stuff that were there at Auschwitz living this very, very normal life, like almost trying to paint it like, I don't know, the weird juxtaposition of people living a normal life sitting around eating blueberries while there's a concentration camp like right across the fence. I know that this is a reach, and like I said, I really hope that I'm wrong, but something about the Serena Joy vibe of her speech, and if they are trying to throw some sort of a dog whistle or some sort of a foreshadowing symbol, something of that there's going to be a group of people that are eating blueberries in a group that aren't. I don't know. I had never heard of this play before, so you would think if somebody was trying to like put across a message like that, it would be something more obvious, but I don't know. Tell me what you think, and please don't be afraid to tell me that I'm crazy, because like I said, I want to be wrong.
Kirk's wife. Oh my fucking god, I want to talk about that. That was a big giant red flag. And actually for the very first time, I feel kind of bad about all of this now, because I think it's so much more sick, twisted, and just malicious than just like my initial feelings. That woman was way too happy for what comes after her husband's unaliving. I've seen this. This is the same energy as we demonize with terrorists overseas. And it's all wrapped up in religion too. That was so fucking sick. This is all sick. Completely. Everything about these people, they are fucking disgusting. And I had seen one of my mutuals point out last night, the fucking 47 hat just perfectly placed right there. And then there was like the other one off to the side. The whole recruiting people. Like, who are you gonna fight? Yourselves? Everyone else clearly wants to be left the fuck alone. You guys will not stop like infringing themselves on us. It feels like we're being assaulted. That's how it feels to me. But yeah, that whole pile of shit smells. Yeah, and I don't have any empathy or sympathy or anything for any of that. This is fucking war. That woman's trying to recruit people in her white supremacist group. Turning Point, right? That's like the public above ground KKK. And what is their end goal? To eradicate the rest of us. I grew up in a racist family. I fucking know these people. I knew that there's different factions of white supremacy long ago. But yeah, these motherfuckers are the American Taliban. Anything you ever thought the Taliban was, bad, horrible, evil people, this is just the whitewashed version of it. It's the fucking Crusades. They're using your tax dollars, using our military. And no, it wasn't like this before. Anyone that says that both sides anything, no, it the fuck is not. And if you think it is, you do not know how many different factions of white people are out here in America fighting for control. But yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Your husband just got pew-pewed in the neck in front of you and your kids. And within 72 hours of his passing, you've already done a press conference. You're having people film you while you're kissing and caressing his corpse. I'm really not even trying to be funny. Is that not weird? It'd be my full life birthday and I don't even be taking pictures and videos of myself. You are standing in the room with his corpse. Has rigor mortis even set in? Is his amniotic fluid all the way in there? Like, and you're telling somebody to film this. And you're editing it and like posting it. And then it was like kind of like ASMR, like she was rubbing the fabric. The press conference, you wrote a speech, accepted it, got dressed, hair done, makeup. I'm sorry.
I don't know, I could do it. I couldn't do it. I'm going to be honest, I don't know how I feel about Erica Kirk's interview that she's given to the press. I don't think for a second, if that was me or many other people that had happened to and you'd seen that play out, that I could stand on that stage so articulate, so with it, if that happened to me in my situation. I don't know if I could stand there, give a statement, give a speech for that long, go down memory lane and keep it together. I mean, I know that people deal with grief very differently and people go into a state of shock, but only a few days after, I mean, I don't know what's going on in her head. Like, I couldn't possibly imagine that. But I couldn't get up on that stage and do that. I couldn't. I think I would have been so traumatised by what I had seen. It's one thing seeing someone else have that happen to them when you're not in their circle or situation. But to have it happen to one of your own, that would have been very difficult, and I'm not sure that I could do that, and I'm not sure how she's doing it. Now, I just want to make it clear, I am not mocking her for getting up on that stage and doing what it is that she's doing in terms of her speech and talking about the passing of her husband. I'm not. I just find it difficult based on my own emotions to the situation. If I was to switch it round, I don't know how she's doing it. I honestly don't feel like I would be able to pick myself up off the floor if I'd witnessed that. I don't know how she's doing it. Has anyone else watched it? Because if you haven't, it's in my saves. I recommend you watch it because I want to know what you think on it. Put in the comments what your thoughts are in it. Obviously she's grieving, and everybody grieves in a very, very different way to each other. And who are we to, I suppose, judge how someone is grieving in their situation? I guess the point I'm trying to make is, I don't know, I could do it. I couldn't do it.
So y'all, I just got finished listening to Erica Kirk's addressing the nation about her husband Charlie Kirk's assassination. But as I was listening to her and the words that were coming out of her mouth, I pick up on like small details. That's something that I love that about myself. I thank God for giving me that trait. I'm listening to what she's saying. When she said they try to silence him, his mission will continue to go on. Who is they? When she says they, who is they? Because she said it numerous times in her speech. They have already captured the assassin. So, supposedly, this 22-year-old kid, Tyler, is the one that did this, right? So who is they? Who is trying to silence him? And this goes back to my conspiracy theory mindset. John F. Kennedy, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and so on and so on. And this is what happened to Charlie Kirk. I'm just saying, like, these were hits from their very own. I'm just gonna say it like governmental. I just don't, when she kept saying they, how is it they when we have the assassin in, you know what I'm saying, arrested? I don't know. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong, but I know, like, my mind don't play tricks on me. But that lady kept saying they, and that lady know what the hell's going on, because she don't believe that kid did it either. She know what we don't know. But y'all know what to do. Get in the comments. Let's go. But yeah, Erica say they.
Did y'all hear Erica Kirk's statement? Charlie Kirk's wife? It got the internet talking right now. Bruh, she didn't really sound like a widow that's grieving. This shit came off as like a rally speech. He said they won't silence him. But hold up. Who is they? The news and everybody else reported on one shooter. So why does it sound like she's talking about something bigger? Now, I'm not saying it's a psyop. I don't know. All I'm saying is people online is pointing out some crazy shit, like how fast they did the funeral or how fast this statement came out. They also said the tone felt aimed at the movement instead of the family. And that's why people asking these questions. Was this raw emotion or was this a crafted message? Was she speaking as Charlie's wife or was she speaking as a leader in the movement he built? I'm not making no claims. I'm just pointing out what people are noticing. And I'm not gonna lie, it's making me raise my eyebrows like The Rock. So what do y'all think down below in the comments about her speech, about everything, about the funeral, everything? Go listen to it if you haven't listened to it, and then come back and let me know. Do y'all think it's something bigger going on? I need the thoughts down below in the comments.
Okay, I just got off Erica Kirk's live. Anyone else think it's bizarre? I might have jumped in at a bad time, but as soon as I joined, she was just plugging Turning Point over and over again, telling people to go join their local chapters. Like, what? And then at the end of it, she's like, Charlie baby. This is what she says. She's like, Charlie baby, I will never let it die. I will never let it die. Like, and not in like a genuine caring way, you know, like you love him so much and don't want his legacy to die. More like she looked like she was the new CEO. Like, what was that? This just happened too. This just happened. I don't know. Something about that live rubbed me so weird. But I don't want to judge a grieving wife because that's not my place. But that felt strange to me.
Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica Kirk, live streamed a message last night, and if that video was anything, it was a further call to war. Now, if you haven't seen it, I suggest you go watch it because the visuals and messaging are absolutely fascinating. And just like my video from last night, it's time to clock in and listen up because we're gonna the shit out of this thing. Each emphasis, each moment of emotional expression looked so perfectly calculated, and everything continued to circle back around to promoting and platforming the turning point, the business. She even directs people to their website. She tells them to start chapters wherever they are. She even goes so far as to say that there is absolutely no excuse to not start a chapter if there is not one near you. She also says that the evildoers will pay for what they've done. Here's the thing though, this speech was broadcast live, which means that it was broadcast after Tyler Robinson turned himself in. Now the language around the shooter has been very singular, very solo. We caught the guy. We already know that it looks like Tyler Robinson is aligning with the far, far right, in particular the Gropa movement. So who are these evildoers to which she's referring? And if you for 1 second think that she had time to get a full beat hair done, come up with that speech, but didn't keep up with Tyler Robinson's probable affiliations, then you're either on the wrong page or you need to hold onto your hat because you're about to get a crash course in chaos. At first glance, it would be so easy to assume that she's talking about Democrats and the left. That would be the obvious answer. But if you watched my last video, you already know that I don't think she was talking to Democrats and the left. I think she was talking about other factions in the alt-right. I think the reference to evildoers served two distinct functions, and that it carried both a high and low frequency of messaging. The high, the obvious, it calls out to everyone that still believes that Tyler Robinson was radicalized by the left. And after scrolling through literally thousands of comments last night as I was looking at news media coverage videos, it is very clear that there still are an absolute ton of people that believe that he was radicalized by the left. Because of the word fascist used on one of the shell casings, they absolutely cannot wrap their minds around the fact that the phrases used were actually alt-right memes. They only know the word fascist as used as part of a left lexicon. So this high frequency messaging keeps them riled up, especially after MAGA Republicans have had to pivot away from directly accusing Democrats of having done it. The low frequency messaging, other far right factions, because by the time she made this message, it would have already been known that Tyler Robinson's affiliations would be with the far, far right, not the left. Steph, even if she was talking to other far right factions, wasn't this just the work of one angry shooter? Who put out the fucking book? That's right, it all comes back round again. Who published that biography one day before it actually happened? Who are they? What did they know? What role did they play? People are always talking about the left eating itself, but I want to know, what's happening with the right? So for the last day, the Democrats and the leftists have been online making jokes talking about, so are the white people going to fight back against other white people? Are the right going to fight the right? Yes. The answer is yes. Months ago, I made a video breaking down how Trump was trying to turn the states into a white Christian national state, but that beyond that, a lot of white Christians would eventually be shocked to find out that they are not the right kind of white, nor the right kind of Christian to be considered part of the in-group. The right, the far right, the alt-right, there are factions and they don't like each other. It is well known that Nick Fuentes' Groypers hated Charlie Kirk. They found him too moderate. They didn't find him extreme enough. Him not extreme enough for their liking. But I also think the right is smart enough to know that the range of extremes in and amongst the factions is beneficial for shifting mindsets and carrying out indoctrination on different levels. I said it in my last video and I'll say it again. People think the fight is left versus right, but I think the right sees the left as a nuisance, and that for them at the end of the day, they see the fight as right versus farther right. Whether it's MAGA Republicans or Groypers, Oath Keepers, Proud Boys, people that don't think they align necessarily with the Republicans and yet hear certain messaging that they feel, oh, actually, that's not that bad. You know, those little insidious messages that kind of get in there and pull people along further and further the path of right. Sometimes it's just due to religious indoctrination, you know? The fact that someone carries the same religious identity as them makes them blind to the other harmful things that they're doing. And so they will protect that person as a member of the same religious flock rather than calling them out for the actual harm that they do. At the end of the day, all these different people, all these little pieces, they could all have a useful role to play. Think of indoctrination like a sales funnel, you know? Sometimes people pop in at different points in the sales funnel, depending on what they need, what they already know, how they're feeling, and where they are in their life. Erica Kirk's message last night was her selling and selling hard.
Wait, Erica, did you just say that Charlie Kirk spread love and positivity into this world? Did you just actually get on national television and say that shit? I mean, the delusion is fucking diabolically mind-boggling. You can't... What? If that dude spread love and positivity, then what the fuck did John Lennon, MLK Jr. spread? Malcolm X, what did they spread? My God, I'm living in a place where delusion is running fucking wild. What the hell is wrong with people?
When I got home last night, Gigi, our daughter, just ran into my arms.
Ooh, she looks like she's laughing. Ooh, is she threatening us? Ooh, why is she smiling? Ooh, she doesn't look upset to me. Is this what we're doing now? Dictating how people can respond to grief and how people can grieve. Let me tell you something. This woman has the strength of God, because it's only God as to how she can stand up there and give that press conference. To be stood right next to that seat where her husband did his thing every day and say those words about him and hold him down and pay homage to him, that's the strength of God. That peace that you can get when she said that her husband is with his Lord and Savior and in covenant, it was beautiful words, because I think his death was spiritual. I won't go as far to say he was a martyr, because there are things about Charlie Kirk that I don't think was Christian-like, but that peace that you can have in grief, I've seen it before, and that is the strength of God. And I think to myself, who are you? Some of you in the comments, it really shows that you just don't go out and touch grass, or you weren't held by your mother properly. Like, you just need a hug, because how can you have so much criticism for someone? When she said that her daughter, her 3-year-old, was going, where's daddy? I broke down, because this is what I'm saying. A dad has been taken. A little girl has to grow up without a father now, over opinions. What is the world? What are we coming to? Does humanity even exist anymore? My heartfelt prayers goes out to Erica and the Kirks, man. Like the poor girl said, these actions will not stop us. That turning point USA will still continue to happen. And you lots are in the comment like, is she threatening us? I mean, come on. Talk about hater.
I want us to take a look at some of these random comments I grabbed so you can see exactly what people are saying. You can pause to read. So those are different reactions happening online, from sympathy to backlash, from support to strong criticism. Erika Kirk's words have definitely struck a nerve. This story is still developing and the debate is continuing on TikTok. What do you guys think about people's reaction? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.